Very interesting. You're going to see the classroom. You're going to get a chance to see me doing physical therapy, trying to get strong, keep you strong, be fit, be well. Here we are, out in the slush, the rain and snow, and I've got an interesting guy. This really is a tribute to Mr. John Schaefer, who is the founder of the Children's Media Workshop and MAPS Labs. And from what I understand, all of this kind of correlates to MAP Lab. Tell me about MAP Lab. What is it, and why did you create this thing?
Well, basically, we started my nonprofit Children's Media Workshop, which has worked with you in the past.
Right.
We started working with UDOT to get kids to walk and bike to school.
Right.
Most of our efforts are around using media. Well, UDOT introduced us to mapping, interactive mapping, and we realized immediately that it was multimedia. You could add photos, you can add videos, you can write, you can link to other websites. And so we tried working with Esri, with Google, with Apple. None of them would work in schools. So we had to build our own app. It's really been like 10 years in the building, although the last 3 years have really accelerated as we've gotten.
So you're in the classroom.
We're in the classroom. We built an interactive map for kids to make their own maps, not passive consumers, not passive looking at a map, making the map, showing us your world. And that's what this is about, place, right? I mean, who decides what a place is? Who decides what's important? In our opinion, the kids. Each individual should do that.
So now we got the seniors.
Yes.
And now we've got the young people.
Yes.
We've got mentors, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, raising these young kids up in the classroom.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's the idea, right? I mean, a lot of seniors are put out to pasture.
Right.
I mean, and when they're put out to pasture, we're losing an historically, most other societies have used their seniors and used them effectively to keep a community evolving and growing and being better. Our seniors in general are put out to pasture. We believe that, first of all, by being involved with helping in the classroom, they're going to learn more about digital citizenry themselves, okay? So that's part one.
So technology comes to seniors.
Yes, technology comes to tech literacy needs to come to everybody.
Right.
And seniors are they're the ones that are probably having the most difficulty with it in general because they were not digital natives, okay? So they got, first of all, let's make seniors more digitally aware. Let's give them the skills to at least, balance their checkbook digitally or not being taken advantage of, really, is a big part of it. Then let's flip it and turn it into something positive. And for us, that means, well, these seniors could come into schools. And they could come into schools, and when a kid who just arrived from Rwanda is trying to figure out how to use the app, number one, but secondly...
Are you taking this, I'm jumping in here, are
Okay.
you taking these kids, this process, this program across the country?
Yeah, across the world, in our opinion. We think that kids controlling their sense of place is an incredible asset on a lot of different levels. But what we found is that when kids are mapping like their routes to school and working with how many miles it is to decimal points, they learn decimals in an hour or less.
Don't you love it? John Schaefer, Children's Media Workshop. That's what I'm talking about, and it's a cool, cool thing. So you're going to see more of it, hear more of it. You seniors, I'm going to get you in the classroom with the kids. That's what we're talking about.
The joy of learning, that's what we're really talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
When we come back, more on the Children's Media Workshop and MAPS Labs. Our seniors explain their experience with MAPS. Up next.
From St. George to Logan, from Vernal to Tooele, Utah is as diverse as the communities that call this great state home. We'll never stop telling stories that make a difference to you and your family. When Utah changes, we change with it. Adapting to our new environment, overcoming any and all challenges, and creating memories that last a lifetime. ABC4 News is committed to Utah. ABC4 News is good for Utah.
Our history, like dreams, is made up of stories, giving life, laughter, and the knowledge of what's come before. We find the worth of Utah's history by telling its great stories. And those stories, they help shape our future. You know, all we need to do is stroll about with our eyes open. Catch Worth Watching Mondays and Sundays on ABC4 News at 10. Good for Utah.
Well, welcome to Living and Aging with Pride. I'm James Brown, your host, and let me tell you, we're talking about the Children's Media Workshop and MAPS Labs, and you're going to wonder what that's all about, and I'm going to share it with you because I've got the greatest seniors on the planet joining me. Well, welcome to the show. You had a chance to do something that not many have had a chance to do, and that's play around with the MAP Labs in the classroom. Let me ask you, Bev, what was your experience? What did you come out of there with? Now, I know you were excited, but tell me, what did you come out of there with? And did you learn something as well as able to see what the kids were doing?
That's a lot. I'll tell you, when I was in that class, first of all, when I was in school, this was a whole different environment for me. They wandered in, they talked to each other, they all had their laptops, and when they got into this app and I realized what it was, it brought tears to my eyes. It was so powerful. I just loved it, and they were so absorbed in the assignment they had. They gave them a 5-minute use your cell phone. You can have a break, 5 minutes with your cell phone. Not one student did that. They loved this app so much. They were enthralled. I was enthralled.
That's amazing. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here. I mean, you think about the kids in the classroom, and you got a semblance of that when they were moving all about and all that. And then all of a sudden they stopped and
That's
they paid
right.
attention.
They loved it. They were so absorbed in what they were doing. It was a pleasure to watch them.
Great. I'm going to ask you the same question, Bill.
And I'm going to tee off of what Beverly said. Their curiosity drove them to hunker down and work hard. And you'd see them have an aha moment, and then they'd put their head up and look around for somebody else, and then say, "Come over here, I got to show you this." And you could see the information, the knowledge was kind of infectious across the students. I thought it was brilliant.
Tell me what your experience was, and do you think it was not only a learning experience for the students, but what about for you as a senior? How did that fit with you?
You know what? It gave me the opportunity to see that younger people could do something different than play on that phone.
Right.
And that was so excited to me to see them communicate with each other when they were excited. To see, oh, look, this is where I'm from, or this is where I lived before, and things like that. So it really opened up the door for them to communicate with each other.
I love that, and that's what we're trying to do, ladies and gentlemen, help you communicate, help the young people understand that we have seniors who can jump in and help mentor you, share their wisdom, knowledge, and experiences. So we all want you to understand that there's some effort underway to bring the seniors together with the young people so we can make a better community, and that's what this is all about, and I think that's what MAPS Lab is all about.
Yes.
It's all about teaching both sides of the fence.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to add, each of you, to this whole thing about the connection between young and old?
Well, I was watching one student, a young lady who was, I think it was her grandmother, lives in Mexico City, and she used the MAPS Lab to find her grandmother's house, and then she spent several minutes digitally walking around her grandmother's neighborhood and looking at the stores and looking at the streets and looking at the shops in the corner. And, you know, I was, she was working hard at it, but I was just thrilled that she was discovering something about her heritage, about the country that her
See, I
grandmother
was about
lives
to
in.
jump in and say, how's that a learning experience? And you
Oh,
just jump right on it.
Way
Go ahead
learning.
and elaborate
And
on that.
and I'd say one other thing that, you know, I'm not an expert in these apps, but one of the things, the golden opportunities we give to these kids is they get to teach us how to find these things and discover how to use the internet better than we can, and how to use apps better than we can. And letting them be the teacher really is a gift to them.
So it breaks the bar down. It takes the bar away.
Yeah.
And that young people now are teaching their grandmothers, grandfathers, whatever. And that's a good exchange.
That's a
because
good
many
exchange.
times us older people kind of say, I know more than you and I'm the leader of this whole thing. And now we've got a shared experience of sharing knowledge, sharing information, and sharing the same space. And that's really important, I think.
And learning together. I mean, it isn't like an expert is just giving them information. It's that senior and the student are working together to find something. This is a rich experience that I was happy to be part of. And it's, you know, again, like any relationship, it's gifts both ways. The children benefit and the senior benefits. Everybody wins.
I think it's a gift for the younger people, the children, to teach us instead of us always teaching them. That's what I get out of it, because I will call my grandchildren in a New York second to tell me which button to press to get into certain apps and things of that nature. So it's very beneficial. That's what keeps them.
I have another question for you.
Yes.
What's a New York second?
That's a statement. And you'll find a lot of people that have lived back east will use that statement.
You learn something everywhere. I'm learning something every day. You know, hey, I really appreciate you guys spending this time with me. If there's something I've missed, and I miss a lot of things, but that's okay. They love me, you know. Is there something I missed from your learning experience that you want to kind of talk about a minute?
Maybe you need more programs for adults to be with young people. I mean, how many programs are there? Through this, we were able to sit in this classroom, which was a beautiful experience and a very rewarding experience to me to see these children. But what other programs do you have that bring seniors to young people?
I love it. Well, we're pulling together and developing all kinds of programs.
Right,
work with
right.
The workforce,
I think
the disability, all of those things come together. But what I'm wanting to do is see us come together, because all of those things affect all of us in many, many ways, and we need to bring them all into
That's
the
right.
same collective process.
Right.
No group should be over here, over there. We should all be together. And we've been talking about Maps Lab, a great new app that's in the classroom. And these are my friends. They are great seniors, and they're learning, but they're teaching as well. Until next time, I'm James Brown. You take care of yourself, and remember, Maps Lab.
When we come back, physical fitness, a vital component to your living and aging with pride. And have we got a getaway opportunity for you through our friends at Incentivize Travel? You don't want to miss it. It's next.
From St. George to Logan, from Vernal to Tooele, Utah is as diverse as the communities that call this great state home. ABC4 News is committed to Utah. ABC4 News is good for Utah.
We find the worth of Utah's history by telling its great stories. And those stories, they help shape our future. Catch Worth Watching Mondays and Sundays on ABC4 News at 10.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
My thoughts are going a mile a minute. I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago.
My buddies from the Army are gone now. I'm really alone.
I feel so stuck.
I'm glad you called. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, Spencer, how are you, man?
James, good morning. Good to see
Hey,
you.
my pleasure. You know, it's so important what you do here at the university, helping us older adults get fit and stay well.
Yeah.
So I want you to go back here and kind of explain to me and to my audience what you do and how it will benefit them.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right.
Come and show you some stuff.
Now, your task here is to what? What is your job?
So my job, physical therapist, our job is to restore function and mobility.
Okay.
So we work with people at this clinic here with the University of Utah. We specialize in stroke rehab, multiple sclerosis, spinal cord injury, brain injury, balance, and falls.
Right.
And so our job is to help people restore their function after having an injury, or if they even have balance issues or at fall risk. We work on restoring that function.
And I want you guys to know that I've been a client, a customer, a patient, whatever you want to, at this same facility, and it's remarkably filled with great equipment and great people, and that's what you need as you make your life better, to go get fit so you can go work, so you can hang with your family, so you can do things in your community, and that's what I'm stressing. Get it done by getting yourself done. Be healthy. This guy here is the guy. He works me till I go home crying. No, I'm joking. That's a joke.
No, we have fun together, right?
Yes,
but
we
I
do.
make you do some things that are hard, but what's the benefit that you've noticed, James?
Why don't you take me over to the stairs here
Okay.
and let me see how that works, so we can show people these are things that they can do at home.
Perfect.
We do this walk, we take these steps. 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day is going to keep us healthy.
Absolutely.
What do we have here?
All right, so what you're gonna do, everybody's got access to steps at home, right?
Right.
Or a step stool or something. There's some great exercises you can do. So you just wanna work on just doing a simple step up like this. It's great because it's gonna work on your quad and your strength, but it's really important to keep strong.
Okay.
It's gonna work on your balance, because balance for elderly individuals is really important to work on.
Those falls are a big issue.
Falls are a huge issue, and we want to avoid those at any cost.
Well, let me try.
All right, why don't you come in here, James? And it's also a great way to get that heart rate up, to work on that cardiovascular endurance.
Am I holding the banisters or not?
So if you can do it without holding on,
So
better.
this is the premise. Like one foot up,
1 foot up, and I want
and then all the way up.
Uh-huh.
And I see I'm a little wobbly.
Yep. And if at home, right, you need something to hold
Right.
on to for stability,
Right.
that's okay.
So it's okay to hold on to the rails.
It's okay, but if you can do it without, that's going to work on that
Right.
balance a little bit more for you.
So how often should I be doing this?
If you could do it 3 days a week,
Right.
and do like 3 sets of 8 to 10, that would be perfect.
3 days a week, 3 steps, 8 to 10,
Yep, yep.
and it's going to help me.
It's going to help work on those things: the balance, the leg strength, and some of that cardiovascular endurance.
So
as well.
why do we do this? I mean, I had a stroke.
Uh-huh.
And so this is part of repairing that balance that you lose when you face heart attacks or stroke.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you've had a stroke or if you have poor sensation in your feet, or oftentimes elderly people lose sensation in their feet. And so what we want to do is force the brain to have to engage in ways so that it can learn to adapt and improve. By not doing anything, the body's not going to know that it needs to improve. But by challenging it, it forces all your balance systems and your cardiovascular system all to engage to help you continue to improve.
You know, and these are the steps that we must take to live and age with pride. So be fit, take the steps, understand this, that every step you take is going to make your life better. Hey, Spencer, thank you very much, man.
James,
I love you much.
I love you too. You're a privilege working with you.
Thank you, my brother.
Have we got a getaway opportunity for you through our friends at Incentivize Travel? And it's free. We explain next.
You've worked hard. Long days. Year after year. Decade after decade. You've seen a lot of things. Enjoyed the good times and weathered the tough times. You've earned a life that you can call your own, alongside the people you love the most. Retirement worries shouldn't get in the way. But many Americans like you are finding that retiring on a fixed income is harder than they expected. Fortunately, there are thousands of benefits programs that can help. Visit benefitscheckup.org to see if you're among the millions of people eligible for thousands of dollars in benefits to help you age well, so you can focus on what's really important. Benefits Checkup. You've earned this.
We've been talking about the Children's Media Workshop and MAPS Lab, and I've got a treat.
I'm Stephanie Musi-Verdell. So I've been a nurse, a pediatric ICU nurse for 18 years, and I got a certificate in landscape architecture. And I went abroad for 2 years in France, and I came back and I thought, how am I gonna merge the two professions? And I thought about children walking to school and incorporating health and education, and I stumbled onto Children's Media Workshop, and now I'm involved in creating and making it better, the MAPS Lab.
You met John Schaefer.
Just through a seminar, and it was online. It was in 2020, so it was through a seminar. And John Schaefer was looking for volunteers to get MAPS Lab in the schools, and I knew I could do that having 2 younger children within the elementary school system. So I sent him an email with a little bit of a background of me, and we've been working together side by side ever since.
How did you start the conversation with these educators who have this format of doing the same thing day after day after day, and all of a sudden you come in Children's Media Workshop and you come in with MAPS Lab and you say, have I got a treat for you? How did that conversation go?
Well, at the time we had Fridays were virtual because it was still 2020. So it was easy to kind of offer something that might be virtual. So we were able to kind of do a lesson plan virtually for Morningside Elementary School in Salt Lake City. And it was well received. But the other part is the idea was to get children to think about and talk about walking to school as opposed to taking a private automobile. So that has health benefits. So the principal's okay with that. So the MAPS Lab, not only does it help people talk about how they might get from point A to point B, which needs to happen in the schools, it also enables people to tell a story and use media to do that. So these seniors can tell a story and tell their history, and the students can tell their story, and in a way it comes together. So it was just a natural progression, and it makes sense. It just makes natural sense. There's a lack of people in the schools that are able to be aside from the class structure, and there is a multitude of older adults who are looking for maybe some sort of other extracurricular activity or some sort of social exchange or some sort of interaction or engagement or enrichment in their lives. So
you got the schools to accept the program, to accept this transition in teaching. And how many schools are you in? How many schools have you participated with now? I do understand that this is a national, global thing, and you've been in Detroit, Michigan, and all those kinds of places. What's the future look like for MAPS Lab?
Well, for sure national and then international. I mean, we have big goals to bring this to all schools and make it available across the globe. So we're starting here. We've reached a little bit, and we hope that we just keep going. We keep continuing, and it's across the globe.
How do I find out about MAPS Lab and Children's Media Workshop? Is there a website we can go to?
Yep, you can go to cmwworld.org and contact Stephanie Musi-Verdell or John Schaefer there. And then, of course, the mapslab.org will require a password, but you can get all that through Children's Media Workshop, and we are happy to spread and continue to educate.
This is truly an educational thing. It shows you how you're getting to that point, if that's correct.
Right, you have to be active. You can't just allow the computer to tell you where your steps are that you take. You actively mark it. And then another thing that just came to my mind is the fact that it's a map, though it's digital, it's actually very tactile, which engages other parts of the brain for learning, which is super enhancing on just,
Cognitive.
again, making those connections.
Wow, this is incredible. Say it again, what's that website?
childrensmediaworkshop.org or mapslab.org.
And you can get anywhere with this app. You can get anywhere, you can be anything. So take a look at it. I'm James Brown, and you're not. This is Living and Aging with Pride, and I'm just happy to be a part of this nuance in life for all of us. Bringing seniors together with young people, bringing young people together with seniors means we're going to make the world a better place. Thank you, Stephanie.
That's right. Thank you.
In association with our show's travel partner, Incentivize Travel, Living and Aging with Pride is proud to offer an incredible Mexican vacation to 2 lucky winners to the beautiful Hilton Tulum Riviera Maya all-inclusive resort on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Hilton Tulum Riviera Maya All-Inclusive Resort is a natural sanctuary situated directly on the white sand and clear waters of a pristine and secluded bay that feels like a private beach. With 735 rooms and suites, 13 all-inclusive restaurants and bars, and a luxury spa, you can disconnect from the ordinary and connect with the extraordinary at this all-inclusive resort. Visit our website, livingwithpride.org, click on the Incentivize Vacation Giveaway, and you'll be entered to win this incredible vacation. Incentivize Travel is your travel company to engage, recognize, and reward. Enter today at www.livingwithpride.org.
Consistent, reliable, dedicated. ABC4 News is committed to Utah, committed to telling your story. Day in and day out, ABC4 News is good for Utah.
Seniors, you deserve a TV show to help you in all aspects of the aging process, from financial to medical, travel to peace of mind. Watch Living and Aging with Pride. Living and Aging with Pride on Utah's ABC4, Sunday mornings at 10:30, and find out more at